the drive comes from grade 12. I've spoken about it a lot in podcasts before, but when you looked at those early videos, the content was about like foundational education, like fundamental education, like things that people can do to help bridge that gap from school to the real world. That's basically what I was doing. And it was called Prime University. That's what the page was. It was helping prime kids into the real world. And then I was trying, and the reason for that and all the drive was because I lost all my friends in grade 12. And I've spoken about this so many times, so I'm going to skim over it just in respect to all the regular listeners. But I went from being this cool kid in school that had all the friends, captain of the footy team, to no one would answer my calls, no one would hang out with me. And it was because I switched from being this cool kid to focusing on business. And I went to state school and everyone goes like, Mr. Businessman, what do you want about? And I remember I got a year down the line after leaving school when I had raised all this money for this business at a $800,000 valuation for this software business that me and my best mate was starting. And they all come back to me and go, yeah, I've dropped out of my degree. I'm a bit stuck. And they ask for advice. And I was like, this is flawed. Like, this is horrible. There's only one friend in my school that is still in uni 12 months later. Everyone has dropped out or deferred. And I'm going, okay, there's something wrong with this. And so I went on this massive journey of, okay, I want to help people in that phase. That was prime uni. So that's where the motivation to start posting and helping people really started. And then naturally what I just tried to do with all the content was make it relevant to my life. And then I went through a breakup last year and it sucked. I hated it. But I was learning so much about relationships because I just seeked all these answers. And when I was learning all these things, I thought, that's the same time, Lewis, my mentor, goes, post every day. Okay, what am I going to post about? All right, all my content before had been me speaking to camera. I'm not going to speak about how to invest $1,000 of your money into personal development. Let's talk about the relationship. That's interesting. So then I did that, and then that's when it blew up.
How was it, you said, when you left school and you kind of lost all your mates? What was that like in that period of time when you were by yourself?
It was fucked because, like, I only had Sam and we had only really just met. He was this weird guy at footy that no one really liked, and I was the cool captain guy. And he was the one that asked all the questions and stuff, and it was just weird. But then we were forced to spend time with each other because we were both injured and we were on rehab together. And then he was telling me about some of the stuff he was doing in business, and I was going, wow. He told me he just dropped out of school when I wasn't very good at school. I was just run amok. And I was going, he's a straight A student, but he's dropped out of school. What's going on? So I was really intrigued by that. And then I just leaned in, and he just told me to get this book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and I went and got it and read it straight away and would meet up for coffees and highlight parts of the book and all the stuff. I didn't even like coffee. I remember we went and got coffee. I'd never had one in my life. And he's like, what coffee do you want? And I was like, I'll just get what you're getting. I didn't know.
Yeah.
I was 17 at the time. And yeah, in the next minute, it just went all into business. And it was fucked because I lost everyone except him. No one, literally, and I know this sounds crazy, but like, no one would answer my calls. No one would hang out with me. And then like 2 months later, Sam gets a job opportunity in Sydney and he leaves. And then so now all I had was Sam on FaceTime. And that was it. And
what's the biggest lesson you learn in that time when you're by yourself? Because that's when you really figure stuff out. I
the thing is I was just so obsessed with growing in business and personal development. Ask anyone in that time of my life, absolutely anyone, how I was day one of grade 12 at school to when I graduated. And it's two completely different people. And I remember I was so excited about all the stuff I was learning. And I was 17. I thought I was going to be a multi-millionaire at 20. So naive. But the naivety was literally what
you still want to believe that though. Like you want to
100%.
Like you're better off believing that than you're going to be some high, like
100%. And the thing is about that is it literally, this naivety was the thing that allowed me to go, oh yeah, let's go. And we were doing everything. We'd go to every single free event possible, and get business cards made out and hand them out and network with all these people. And then that led to one thing. And then I got a job through someone I met at an event because he was speaking at the event. I waited till everyone left, and I was a 17-year-old kid, and I would go up to him and speak to him. And then all of a sudden I'm working for him, getting paid pennies, but I didn't care. And then it just kept progressing and progressing. And then when I moved to Sydney, Sam and I were sharing a bed, and we're in this little studio apartment, and we're just trying to figure it out. But that excitement back then was just like, it's gonna work. We're gonna make it work, and that's what was so cool about it. And I look back at it and I go, they were some hectic times. We had to throw the bed out. The bed got moldy. The pillows, that we had to have this dehumidifier thing in our little studio apartment, and it was one of those things that would fill up with water, could like dehumidify, and we had to empty the bucket of water every day. That's how moist the room was. The pillows were like damp when we'd sit on them, asleep on them, and we were sharing this mattress on the floor in the corner. And the crazy part about this is, and this is why I keep telling this story about how quickly your life can change, that was 4 years ago that we were doing this. Like, that's it.
Yeah, from where you've gone to where you are. I think that's the thing, man. It's like everyone looks at, and I always try and bring it back to where you were not that long ago, because you see so many people when they're successful and you go, oh, you've had it easy, or you're lucky, or you're gifted, or you're talented, or whatever these things may be. And then you just go back a few years and you go, oh, actually, you were on you're on your ass. You had nowhere, you had no plan. Well, you had a plan, but you didn't have any funding. You didn't have any kind of direction. You were kind of like, I want to do this thing, but it may or may not happen. And then you see how quickly you can go from that to then completely changing your life.
You build the plane on the way down.
You got to hustle, man. Like, that's one thing I guess I've seen in you, which I try and take away, is just hustle. Like, just, okay, you want to do something, do it. And I feel like I've had that mindset a lot of my life, but then you see other people just getting after it and doing it, because I think so often we know what we need to do, and for whatever reason we sit on it and we go, oh, like, I'll wait for like the perfect time, or I'll wait for something to happen, or someone, or whatever it may be, and then that opportunity will go. And it's like, if you don't jump on it straight away, even if you jump on it and it doesn't work, well, okay, tick that off, go on to the next. And like you were saying then, like, you're handing out business cards to people, like when you're 17, like you actually putting yourself out there, even with the videos and stuff. It's like, people might say, oh, you're just doing a video, but I'm like, you didn't do a video. You didn't put that out there. You didn't like cop the, like, obviously praise and judgment that comes with doing that. And putting yourself out there, especially when you're going through a relationship and it's not going well, like, that's a lot to like broadcast to the world when you're obviously not in a good spot. And that's why people connect with it, because it's real. But it's like to put it out there and actually have people see that when you're in a vulnerable state and go, this is me. And then have people go, oh, like, grow up, or, oh, this is actually really impactful and this is helping me. Like, you have to deal with both of those factors. And then people go, oh, well, that's easy. But like, well, you're not doing it.